What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and if you aren't on Twitter, like many of my YouTube viewers are, you might have missed a kind of a dust up with Daily Wire content creator, or conservative content creator Matt Walsh, um, uh, reacting to criticism that he received from like myself, Sydney Watson, Redacted, and a few other channels. And I think that first and foremost, I think that it's important to acknowledge that Matt Walsh has done some good things in real life, IRL, like working, helping get legislation passed, helping close down one of these gender clinics where they're doing terrible things to youths. These are things that I could only have ever like dreamed of accomplishing. So you got to give the guy his flowers, and I think that that gets lost in kind of the spat and the back and forth, and that. So if I implied that he had not accomplished anything in real life, that's incorrect. He has. I also think that Matt Walsh is a force for good. Just because you disagree with one or two things doesn't mean that I like wouldn't completely back the guy against some sort of leftist mob. He'd have my sword whether he wanted it or not in that scenario. So he put out a video responding to it, which he 100% has every right to. And he even went out of his way to credit the people in the video, which is fine. I mean, it's good. Most people don't do that. So he had a particular issue with Sydney Watson and myself responding to kind of his Dylan Mulvaney video, as well as Redacted and a few other people. Let me put this out there first. I think the major disconnect here is that it's just in approach and who their target audience is. And, while there is immense crossover between Matt Walsh and myself, I'm not going to speak for other creators. I don't want to suck them into this. But again, this isn't going to be a big drama thing. I'm going to be one and done with it. I think there's just too much weirdness going on in the kind of the center right space. And, I've definitely fed that. And I feel like maybe I was, unwittingly sucked into it. I don't know. It's just such a weird time where the all these people that, basically aligned on almost everything suddenly are fracturing, and maybe I'm getting played a little bit. I don't know. So I don't want to make this a whole thing. I've got a lot of love for the work that Matt Walsh has accomplished. We share a lot of viewers and a lot of the same views. He seemed to take issue with the criticism that he was too harsh in this video he made about Dylan Mulvaney. The way, just based on the feedback I'm getting on Twitter, which is, not the best, is that everyone seems to be straw manning and saying like, well, you're trying to say we're supposed to be nice to this guy. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is having like just a real venomous type video does great among people who already agree with you. I think it kills it. Matt Walsh is the expert on the center right at going viral. It absolutely, like, just a heartfelt venomous thing, which is Matt is very good at. Absolutely resonates extremely well with people that already agree with you. My criticism was that anybody seeing that who is like, who's this Dylan Mulvaney person, and then sees like such a aggressive, like venomous thing, they're not likely to be willing to learn more or move over. But both people are important. Matt Walsh galvanizing. There's very few people that mobilize people like actually on the streets as well as Matt Walsh does. There'll be people like, I've been very complimentary of him in this whole video, but you'll see people in the comments like, screw you. That stuff has got to stop. Okay. Like, I'm literally saying, Matt's done some great things. I disagree with this one insignificant thing. And for some reason, myself is obviously to blame in this too. It just gets blown up into this whole thing. I don't have nothing Matt Walsh. I don't think about him. I'm not mad at him. I don't want people to unsubscribe from him. The back and forth on Twitter between him and I, don't care about it. The only reason I because of Twitter being the way it is, I would just delete it and move on. But people are like, why'd you delete this, bro? Why'd you delete this, bro? Why'd you delete this, bro? That kind of behavior is super unproductive. All it does is make people double down, triple down, and never really try to admit they misspoke or try to find a common ground. There's always this vocal, like 20% of people that if you try to just say, like, okay, whatever, then they will haunt you for weeks. And these people are not good people. They are not on your side either. They're not on my side either. They say things like, I follow you and I've been subscribed forever, but why'd you delete this, bro? Because they just want it to go on forever. They want the chaos. They want the destruction and the fracturing of the. They are not our friends. Um, they may feel like they're standing Matt Walsh against criticism, but if somebody tries, even I tried to de-escalate it, and I posted a foot picture, right? And then there's people and they're like, "Oh, bro, nice, take the L, bro, take the L, bro." It's like, first of all, you sound like a 12-year-old. Second of all, you made Matt look bad because I'm like, is this a Matt viewer? And then all you do is make me want to just double and triple down. So I think that's part of it. Twitter has gotten really, really more divisive and angry in the past couple of months, and I don't really know what it is. But I will say this: I try to be as clear as possible here. Like, my criticism of Matt Walsh's Dylan Mulvaney video being too harsh, and once you go that harsh, it's not as effective at changing minds, doesn't mean that I don't think that I think he's wrong. I don't think that he's wrong about Dylan Mulvaney making a mockery of women. I don't think that he's wrong that Dylan Mulvaney is bad for society. I just prefer a different approach. That doesn't mean that I'm here saying, well, we should be nice to leftists. That's like this thing that keeps getting. No, I never said that. I just saying, the average Joe tuning in isn't going to be changed by that. But like, that's such a small thing where, the center right and the center and the right have much bigger fish to fry. So, like, if Matt is feeling attacked by people disagreeing with his approach, that would explain why he's reacting this way. And perhaps, me calling him an insufferable a-hole probably, uh, um, you know, triggered that response. But I still think Matt has a lot of good. I don't have any beef with Matt. I think that both approaches are necessary. I think you need a guy or girl that's going to galvanize your base and mobilize your base. That's who Matt Walsh is. I also think you need someone who is a little more approachable, right? Somebody who is a little more agreeable to both sides, to open the door a little bit. And both are required, both are effective. And, I think people have to be a little less defensive, uh, myself included, starting with me about stuff like this. Like, Matt Walsh was not wrong in what he said. I just don't like the delivery. But so what, right? So what? And it's worked. He is a master at wording things that was very calculated video, scripted. It was very obvious that it was meant to reach people, meant to go viral. And today he's trending on Twitter. So it's like, is that bringing in new people from, is he changing any lunatic leftist minds? No. Is he changing anybody who's like mildly left? Probably not. But he is super galvanizing the base, which you need that guy. I don't know if there's, anybody who's more effective at that. So, yeah, I don't think being super mean to somebody is changing a lot of minds. That's what I said, and I stand by that. But it also doesn't mean that, like, I think Matt Walsh is bad, or that I think that people shouldn't watch his videos, or that people should. No, it's just like a totally mild disagreement that's inflamed probably by my incessant nitpicking at Daily Wire. He, I am sure, knows about that. He tweeted something about, he doesn't even follow me on Twitter, but he tweeted all about my Tim Pool stuff, so he clearly watches it. He clearly, is probably extra defensive because I've been critical of Daily Wire, and that's okay. That's who he works for. But I'm not like personally invested or in what Matt Walsh thinks about me, and he's not personally invested in what I think about him. I think the key takeaway is like there's just different strokes for different folks, and that both not only like can exist but should exist, and there should be different approaches. This whole like um, no true Scotsman about being, I'm not trying to be a conservative. Okay, so maybe that's where we're different. I am not a religious guy. I know I have religious viewers whom I greatly respect. Um, but like I'm not a you got to have kids otherwise your life is put like I've had people spamming my Twitter all day with that stupid moronic hot take. Like you don't even have any kids, bro. I'm sure from some childless teenager who would say something like that. Or somebody literally said something like bro, you don't even have any kids. Conservative commentators who don't have kids are most likely grifters. Like there are tens of millions of conservative people out there who are single. That doesn't make them less conservative. I mean, this is like a real tweet. I'm not even kidding you. You might think, wow, why would anybody say something so stupid? But they do. And like these people, this is why I'm thinking about just getting off of Twitter because they distract you and they they're toxic for the movement. It's that when a conservative commentator is not married and or doesn't have children, they're probably grifters. Like what? There are millions of single conservative men and women, you moron. I mean, and I've never seen this individual before. I assume they came from Matt's, quote tweeting me and dunking on me. Yes, he dunked on me pretty good. Good for him. But I don't really think that it's a productive thing to do. So, I have no beef with Matt. I don't love his opinion on pit bulls, but I don't think, that invalidates his opinion about, protecting kids. I don't love his approach to, with the Dylan Mulvaney video, but it's just one stupid video. It's not that big a deal. So I wish Matt Walsh all the best. I will continue to, defend him against the left, but also that doesn't mean I can't ever, say something negative about something the man does. That's like a total baby's perspective, and there's a lot of people in our world that act like that. They're like, "Oh my God, you said something bad about Tim Pool. You must hate him, and now I hate you," and blah blah blah. That's not actually how it works. I've never actually met a content creator that ever thinks about this stuff. They're about entertaining their viewers, educating their viewers. I don't care if Tim doesn't like me, and he doesn't care if I don't like him. Same thing with Matt. But our viewers, they get so emotionally attached to it that it gets like weird and aggressive and I get people wanting to defend, but also like, man, it's so distracting. So, I wish Matt the best. I hope he writes another book that sells a zillion copies. And That's all I'm gonna say about it. It's a weird, tiny thing that has gotten blown up into this whole, no true Scotsman thing that I just don't want any part of. So I wish Matt all the best. Um, I'll continue to be a soft wimp when it comes to these things, apparently, and he can continue to be the super ultra mega Chad. And I'm comfortable with that because I gotta be me. I don't play a character in my videos. This is who I am. So flaws and all. And I hope that, you'll continue to tune in and accept me, flaws and all. I hope you enjoyed this video. Best of luck, Matt, and we'll talk to you again real soon.